Hello, my name's Sarah Gibbs. I'm a resident of Newport and obviously fall under the Aaron Bevan University Health Board. 3 years ago I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. It was a bit of a shock. There was no family history and I didn't really know where to go. I felt really embarrassed going to the doctors to begin with, because I went to the doctors with what I now know were some of the really common symptoms. So I went because I was thirsty all the time. So because I'm drinking lots, I'm going to the toilet a lot, that's another symptom. I was tired every time I sat down, I wanted to fall asleep. And then the embarrassing one that nobody wants to talk about, thrush. And that is really painful, and that was the embarrassing thing that made me go to the doctors, and I'm so glad that I did. I remember the appointment, the diagnosis appointment. It was around about 20 minutes, but the only things I actually remember from that appointment was type 2 diabetes, lifelong condition, lifestyle change. And I was totally lost. I left that appointment thinking, that's it, my life's over, what am I going to do? I'd had to go. I literally slotted it in before I went shopping, so I went on my weekly shop and I'm picking information up and food up and putting it back down and picking it up, and putting all the things I would normally buy because I was really dumbfounded by it. And I got so worked up and upset and stressed over it. I left my trolley in the middle of Tesco's and I went home and I said, right, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? It's the end of the world. And then I found, completely by accident, a leaflet in my doctor's that said there was something called a Living with Diabetes Day. And that was an information day held by Diabetes UK and the Health Board. And it was an amazing day. It was definitely a day, very corny, it's a day that changed my life, it really did. It was backed by Diabetes UK, the charity. It was held in Newport and there were about 200 people there. And at the time they said, right, who would like a support group in Newport? And all 200 in the room went, we do. So, oh, that would be good. So I left I left the day. I was really energised, really enthused, inspired by listening to sort of the staff there. They were so helpful, lots of information. So I started bothering Diabetes UK Cardiff and saying, we want to start a support group, what can we do? So in May 2015, we got one up and running. We've got a support group in Newport. In Newport in particular, there's 8,000 people that live with diabetes. And I found that from personal experience, I wanted somebody to just say, it's okay, you can have that biscuit, you can have that piece of cake, you can have that strawberry, have a cup of coffee, come and have a chat. And that's what we wanted to do for the support group. We wanted to make sure that everybody was included and that nothing is out of bounds. Everybody can come and relax, and if you want to join in the conversations, great. If you don't, that's fine, you can just come along and listen. Throughout the group we have a number of guest speakers, normally relevant to diabetes. Our latest talk, we had somebody who came along and talked about and taught us some basic first aid, which not relevant to diabetes, but it's really important. But we have people that come along and talk, like the retinopathy service. We have the podiatry services for the health board. They come along and talk. We've had the specialist from the Royal Gwent. They've come along and talked. The diabetic specialist nurses, they've all come along and given really good, really interesting talks on things that are really relevant to what we want to know. But you don't know you want to know them until they're there to tell you. The idea in Newport is to try and get, well, in the whole of the health board, is to try and get people educated about diabetes. There's a really good course called the X-Pert programme. That is run by the diabetic specialist nurses, and that is an excellent course. It tells you what you can eat, it talks about portion sizes, it talks about how it makes you understand about what actually affects your diabetes rather than you just sort of flounder along on your own. You've actually got a structured course. It's really, really interesting, a really good course. I go off and do talks from Diabetes UK. I go out and do talks to different groups. So I'm about to do a talk for a BME community, and the ladies from the X-Pert programme are going to come along with me because this is an area we want to break into. There's not an awful lot of engagement, so we want to try and change that. So they're going to come along with the booklet so that we can look and make sure that the information that we've got is relevant for everybody. So the X-Pert programme is an excellent programme. If your healthcare professional says, have you heard of it? Go on it, get your name down for it. It's a really good programme. Since being diagnosed with diabetes, like I said, that day changed my life, and I have jumped into diabetes full force, and I mean full force. Last year, I did a 10-mile walk for diabetes, for Diabetes UK, the 13 Bridges Challenge in London. I don't think I've ever walked 10 miles in my life, but I did it. It was a very emotional day. It was a fantastic day. We walked through the centre of London. It was amazing. And I'm so glad that I did it, including my little medal that says that I did it. For diabetes, I think it's really important that you understand that by getting a good control of your diabetes, you're going to have less chance of developing the complications later on in life. If you need any more information, there are going to be a number of contact details at the end of this video for you to be able to contact and for more information. Thank you.